it's really hard to have faith because everyone's always like, it's God's plan. Music is such a fundamental part of who I am. This was at such a point where I just wanted to disappear. I was miserable. I was lost. I was not excellent enough.
The thing that gave you joy had been taken from you.
Maybe that's what I need to do because I'm never going to make it.
Hey, we're so glad you're here.
We talk about faith, no filter. Welcome to Filthy Hope. Welcome back to Filthy Hope. In Filthy Hope, we have conversations that touch on some of the tricky stuff in life, often to do with mental health and other things. So we want you to be safe. We hope that they are helpful and hopeful conversations. But if you feel upset or triggered, please make sure you reach out to somebody for some help. Thank you for watching.
Hi, I'm Rev Ness and I'm with my Rev buddy, Rev John. How are you?
Reverend Sister.
So excited to see you today.
Daughter, sister, friend.
Daughter, sister, friend.
We are so excited because today we have daughter, sister, friend, the very lovely Rachel Humphries here to share her story about grit and grace at home, in childhood, in the workplace. She has got a powerhouse of a story, a journey that I'm not even going to touch on. I'm going to let her navigate this one. It's wonderful. And I'm really excited to have you at the table today, Rachel. Thanks for being here with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm always excited.
Welcome back to the podcast. Rachel's been on some of our earlier chapters, so you can go back and look at past content.
Yes.
Rachel Humphries. Who is Rachel Humphries? How would you describe yourself? How do you want to be seen and known by the people in podcast land?
I guess first things about me. I am a 25-year-old queer person who has been raised in the church, grew up uniting, and I am a musician amongst other things.
So you got some
trades.
pretty funky things. You currently are part of a band?
Yes.
Is it a classic rock band?
No, I'd say it's very punk alternative.
Punk alternative. What's the name of the band for everyone to look up on their
Social Strangers.
Social Strangers.
We have a new album that'll probably be out by the time this comes out.
Awesome.
And you're going on tour to Japan, but we'll probably get to that a bit later.
We are touring Japan.
That's so exciting.
So rock chick, and you're a director of chaos.
Yes.
That's your official job title.
One of many.
Them. Yeah, one of the many. So
yes.
rock chick, director of chaos. What does a director of chaos do?
It's a concierge of sorts at a hotel, but I blow bubbles and hula hoop and talk to people for a living. So
Welcome
that's real
people.
fun.
So it's like a door person.
Yes.
Yes. And then so that's one of your jobs with the hotel. Your second job with the hotel is? Receptionist. And your third job with the hotel is?
Recently training as a manager as well for the front desk.
So 3 jobs.
Duty manager.
3 jobs. And then you also work for Ness.
Yes.
Yeah, not for me, for Uniting Heart and Soul.
Yes, as a worship leader. So I run the band, I lead the band and manage sound.
And can we also say all of this while you are studying?
So you're also a student.
Yes.
And
studying
you're studying
music.
The Australian Institute of Music, yes.
And
Amazing.
doing voice?
Yes, contemporary music performance major.
There you go. So you're a little bit busy.
You're a powerhouse of us in the sisterhood, aren't you? Yeah, you really are. But Rachel, from that introduction, you sound like you've fully got it together. You've just got all the ducks in a line. You've been managing your life extraordinarily well to get to this position, to land where you are today at 25 and smashing it out and actually living your dream in a sense, being a lead singer in a band and you're really fulfilling your life goals and dreams. Now, tell me, it hasn't always been that way though, has it?
Oh, God, no.
Yeah. So what was it like growing up as a
strange person for a father?
Yeah, with a minister dad. So for people that don't know, John Humphries at the table today is Rachel's father.
Yeah.
And you grew up in the Uniting Church.
But not just in the church. I was at your school as well.
Yes, Chaplain.
Yeah, so the other thing that's very important about me is I am very neurospicy, particularly ADHD. I was diagnosed at a very young age. I was actually, 11?
5, yeah.
11 years old, year 5. So at that point, it was before ADHD was cool. Everyone has ADHD these days. I had it before it was cool. In fact, it was still ADD at that point, attention deficit disorder, before it got changed. ADHD, very funny. So people always be like, was it weird growing up with your dad in the church, in your school, blah, 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 blah. I didn't know any different.
Yeah, of course.
My second school, because I did 4 schools before year 5, my second school was Pymble Ladies College, where Dad worked. So from kindergarten to year 2, Dad just worked at the school. Mum worked at the school. My aunt worked at the school. I lived at the school.
So Mum was a teacher, Dad was the chaplain, and you're a kid.
Yeah,
at
and
the
my
school.
aunt was the head of music in the junior school.
Oh, that's too weird, sister.
Yeah, but I didn't know any different.
Yeah, right.
Pretty cool.
It was actually super helpful because so I have inattentive ADHD, which means that I'm highly disorganized.
Okay.
A hot mess in every sense. Thank you very much.
And what does that look like as a kid? What does a hot mess look like?
So here are some universal things. You ever have that thing where you're driving to school and you realize that you forgot your lunch or your sports gear and you have to work up the courage to tell your parents as they've already left and you're 10 minutes away from your house that you forgot everything you were supposed to have? Yeah, every day. It was actually super helpful because I always forgot to hand in permission slips. And so on my lunch break, I would then go to my dad's office and be like, hey, forgot to get this signed. It's due today. Can you please sign this for me? So that was helpful.
That was helpful.
Other weird things that I guess other students would, I had some issues. I was terrible at remembering to hand in assignments, particularly for subjects that I thought were useless. And they would dub on me to my dad.
Yeah, right. So, Rach, can I ask?
She even finished one PE assignment.
She did one in her whole
No,
career.
well, apart from avoiding it.
Yeah.
No, we literally had the teacher say, Rachel, I know has finished the thing, but she just hasn't handed it in.
I forgot.
Can you
Oh,
make
wow.
her hand her in?
It wasn't on my list of priorities.
So, Rach, some kids some people will be listening to this and go, yeah, I don't have ADHD and I didn't hand in assignments and I didn't do any, I did those same things and forgot my lunch. And how is it different? How else does it play out in your life and your mind?
I guess the biggest thing is like intention. Was not a naughty kid on purpose, not a loud kid. My locker was always a mess. I lost every piece of clothing from my uniform at least once a year.
Bag. The bag.
No.
The bag.
What about the bag?
So I would
The
forget.
school bag.
Yeah, so I would forget that I had food in my bag and then it would rot and then, it's just forgetfulness to the point. And then you get this thing called executive dysfunction where you know there's an issue, there's a task that needs to be done
Yep.
and you physically can't force yourself to take care of that issue. And so you leave it alone and then it becomes
Ignore
a
it and
massive
it will
issue
go away. Yeah.
because, of course, that's not how the world works. Yeah.
Or leave it to the last
Interesting.
minute and then the adrenaline
And then you're
kicks in.
stressed. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
But also the adrenaline kicks in, so the ADHD is
Wow.
manageable.
So, Rachel, how old were you? Did you say 11 when you were diagnosed? And how did that change your life?
For me, it was like an answer.
Right.
Getting a diagnosis was like, oh, there's not something wrong with me. Because I always struggled. It's that thing of why can other
I'm
people...
going to interrupt you there. We realised as father of Rachel,
Yes.
he was this kid who, when she was in year 1, 2, her favourite thing was maths.
Yeah, right.
How was your day? Great. My teacher gave me extra maths to do.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, that's a
So
sign.
she went from
I was a weird kid.
great marks, and then we saw her as she was heading into the next level of junior school in year 3 and 4, her grades were dropping.
Wow.
And yet there was no reason for that. It wasn't.
Yeah, right.
It's also the school though.
Well, you changed schools. There was a whole bunch of stuff like that. Yeah. So, yeah. So
the
she
grade
got
starts to
meds.
shift. Take the meds as a little one.
Yes.
11. That must have been hard, John, for you and Linda.
No.
Because you knew that there was a
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not anti-meds. So
Yeah, right.
if that's going to help.
Yep.
And Rach went, bing.
You
And it
take
did-
any
And then
up
our
by
next daughter went, I want that
Hang on
too.
a second.
Our
Yeah.
eldest daughter, because she worked out that, well, If Rachel's ADHD, I am too.
Yeah, and she was, right?
She was.
Yeah.
In fact, all
And
of
then
our
the third
daughters.
one
And
as
I
well.
am.
Oh, everybody is.
And probably my
Everyone's
wife as
ADHD.
well.
Yeah, look at the whole fam.
And their dogs.
Oh, wow. And that cat, did you have that weird?
No, she was autistic.
She's
She was autistic, yeah. So tell me, so you were on the meds and you're in year 10, you're in
Year 5.
5.
Yeah.
And how did that shift for you, Rachel?
Look, it wasn't like a dramatic shift. Like you don't get that because what they do is they start off very low doses and they increase until you get stable.
Yep.
And it actually makes a difference. So I started off low and then I started, being able to do all of my assignments and actually getting homework done
Wow.
and things like that. And it's not a constant thing. Again, I was still terrible all the way up to year 12 with assignments, particularly with things that I dubbed as not important
Yes.
because there's so much in my life.
But then you got depression and
That's a
post-traumatic
later-
stress
that's a
disorder.
later
That was
thing.
that was in the end
Year
of high
12,
school. Yeah.
So I've always been a girl who's done like a million things. My current schedule, Exhibit A.
Yeah, isn't it? Busy.
I grew up, music was my life from very young age, loved musicals and things. When I moved to Ravenswood, which is when I got diagnosed, I was in year 5, I started joining all these bands, orchestra, choir, vocal ensemble, jazz band, rock band, theatre sports, tech team, musicals, drama productions, sports, you name it.
Pick a band, any band.
I did it. Singing competitions. I was part of everything. So I had a crazy schedule.
Yeah.
And so what it was is just like managing things. And I also prioritized, which is why certain things that I did not view as important didn't get
Slipped
done
down the
because
list.
it's more
Which
important
is your other
being in the musical.
neurospicy.
So tell us about the neurospicy that you did allude to.
Okay, so I am ADHD, ADHD in attentive form, which is the ADD, what it was. I'm also autistic, which I did not find out until I was well and truly an adult. And that was a funny conversation. Because,
Tell us how that went.
It was like lockdown times.
Yep.
And
Who's
like,
the conversation that you have it with?
so I had it with my psychologist.
Yep.
What had happened was during lockdown, like every other person, I had a lot of time to sit and reflect.
Yep.
And a lot of time on the internet. And I'm learning all of these things about autism because, before you learn about it, you think about autism as people like who are really extreme cases.
Rain Man.
Yeah. So I
The good
was
doctor.
learning more about like the female traits of autism and, hyperfixations, overstimulated, things like that. And I was like, masking. And I'm starting to there once again, like I did when I was a kid and my mum did when she diagnosed with me, also thought that I would have ADHD, was starting to look at the list and checking boxes. And so I brought it up with my psychologist. I was like, hey, do I have autism? And she was like, well, yes, but your ADHD was much worse. So that's the one we dealt with. Which, like I said, when I was a kid and I got diagnosed, it was such an answer.
Yeah.
And I was like, this would have been really helpful information about myself to know.
Wow.
But then now I know it. I'm like, oh, everything makes so much more sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we work together, Rachel, and you've worked with me for 5 years now, and it's really interesting watching you, and you just, none of what you've just described gets in the way in what you do. You actually, it just brings so much magnificence and energy and sparkle to our team, sparkle to the place, because you have an energy that's just actually quite electric that others don't have, and others can seem quite bland around you because
And-
you are
and
just so
that's-
magnificent.
In our family chat, that's whenever Google translates it, it's Sparkles, autism Sparkles.
Oh, I say
Yeah,
sparkle.
That's her
So I
name.
nailed it.
Yeah.
We have
Oh, I didn't know that.
nicknames in our group chat.
So
Mum's
she's-
is a childhood nickname called Wendell.
Yeah.
Annika is soulless one because she's ginger, and then mine is
Sparkles
autism.
Sparkles
in
autism.
sparkles.
Sparkles.
Oh.
Sparkle emojis autism.
So
There we
literally
go, I
Google
nailed
says
that.
Sparkles autism. Sparkles says.
Yeah.
If ever I send my dad a message, yeah, that's what it says.
We get Ging Red Heart says.
There you
For
go.
ginger. Oh, wow, Rachel. So the sparkles actually, you make your sparkly, spicy ADHD and autism spectrum diagnosis and everything that is Rachel Humphries, you actually make that really be extraordinary for who you are as a person.
Well, it's also called masking.
Really? Is it? Do you feel like you're masking?
Both masking, because in a professional sense, when you do as much as I do, and particularly people facing, I'm very good at turning it on and off.
Right.
Obviously, my family see the full spectrum of my don't talk to me, don't come into my room, this is my space, safe space, I'm overwhelmed and I'm too much.
Shut the
sort
door.
of thing.
Yeah.
People don't see that usually in a regular place.
So she functions as she needs to, but that comes at great cost.
And then when you
energy.
right.
Because she has to suppress all that. I
all
don't
day.
like
All my
people
muchness.
too closeness and all the other hyperstimulation. So their autism is brain understanding of how the world works and sensory stuff.
Wow.
But I see the world very differently to other people.
And the ADHD is the need for stimulation. So the drugs cope with the need for stimulation so that she can then focus rather than seeking it everywhere else. But the autism, you can slightly medicate it for sometimes, but for Rachel,
strategies.
It's strategies. So
your sparkle and your pizzazz, your Shazamness,
Yes.
I find your Shazamness gives me energy.
So that's the other thing. You talked about what it's like growing up in a household that I did with very quirky parents. As you can probably tell, and fans of the podcast are aware, we're yappers, but we talk through everything, and it's always been a very open and conversational upbringing where everything is open for discussion, almost too much with the younger sister. There's some things I do not want to talk to her about. But it did mean that
just
it was very
close the
safe.
toilet door. Right?
Yeah, she's a lot.
I don't want to talk to you.
No.
So it was just a
Anka.
very safe space to discuss and express and explore aspects that I'm sure other households, like I know that I'm very lucky with the upbringing that I had.
yes.
It was just full of such love. But it did mean that I was always free to be myself, and I was so aware of everything that made me me, which means that I can approach, particularly as an adult, I am very transparent and forthcoming. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Sort
That's
of
what I love about you.
personality. I learnt quite a few years ago that I wasn't going to change myself or censor myself or just to muffle myself
to please
or
others.
to please people or to make other people more comfortable, because I have so many people who love me
Exactly.
for my sparkle.
And Rachel, have you had situations in the church and in your life where people have not loved you quite so much and it's been quite hard for you to manage?
Let's go to the dark times, Rachel.
Let's go to the dark times. Okay, so I had a very difficult senior school experience. I had severe depression, which was only diagnosed, I think, year 10 or 11.
Yeah. Go why?
So
Because you started off super happy.
super happy.
Ravenswood
They were
gave
giving
you
me
all these opportunities, and then the leadership of the music department
it
changed.
changed.
And the culture changed.
And the culture changed, and all of the things that I once had as open doors started closing on my face.
Interesting.
And when you're a young teenager, your automatic response is, well, what is wrong with me?
Of course.
What have I done? You don't think about, you're an insecure teenage girl.
Absolutely.
What have I done? What do I need to do to fix myself to get everything that I
Why
lost
I'm not
back?
good enough anymore.
So I also later got diagnosed with post-traumatic stress symptoms, which is a lot when you're, 17,
Yep.
16, 17?
Yep.
And that is, again, the tension between being really good at music, knowing you're really good at music, and then being told you're not actually good enough.
Yeah, so I was always encouraged, and then they have these things called, these awards that used to be based on commitment, which is something I am very
Nail.
good at.
Yeah.
If I make a commitment, I will see
do.
that through to my own health and detriment. Like
I can
it
vouch
is,
for that.
I will be there.
Yep.
And that's something that I've always been taught from
Yep.
my family. But then they changed it to something based on excellence, which is not a great, what I would call, particularly in a school environment and a school that particularly prided itself on positive education and health, to put a subjective term for a level of achievement is quite
And let's be frank,
detrimental.
Rach.
What?
Excellence meant favourites.
Excellence meant, not even favourites.
Well,
particular
style of music, yeah.
So
classical.
I'm a punk singer. I've always been punk and musical theatre. I don't have classical training. I was actually a drummer before I was a singer.
So the violinists and the cellists nailed
the
it.
opera,
beautiful.
classically trained
course.
singers were all the favourites.
Private school.
And I was not. But the difference was I was committed and I was strong. I've always been a powerful vocalist. So I was really good support for the people that they liked. So they would give me all these opportunities and they would continue giving me different opportunities, scholarships for singing lessons.
And how did you do in the HSC?
Oh, I got a band 6 to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because I'm petty.
And in the school musical, which was The Sound of Music, what sort of role did you get as somebody who's an elite singer in the school that gets band 6 for music for performance?
They tried to cast me in a non-singing role and then were shocked when I said I didn't want to do that.
And when you asked to be a nun, which was the chorus?
Oh, well, we don't have any costumes was the response I received.
So that snapped you, didn't it?
That did.
That was the breaking point.
It pretty much was. When you've been repeatedly told that you are not excellent enough, despite all of the evidence to suggest otherwise. And music is such a fundamental part of who I am. I've grown up singing. I grew up actually in a church was where I found music, like most musicians. You actually start questioning, you're like, am I just a bad singer?
Rachel, isn't the irony of this that you're paid to sing in
several times over.
In the week?
Yeah.
But that was part of the redemption
different
because you
people.
walked away from music for a bit.
Yeah.
I did because I had, so after high school.
So that was literally a traumatic experience of going through the HSC, doing all this stuff for people that you thought didn't appreciate you and who were saying you're not good enough. And yet here you are, literally one of the top students, and that literally tears your soul. You just said
it really was. So after high school, I was still super depressed despite lots of counselling, obviously years, because this would have been years at this point.
Yeah.
and traumatized.
I'm traumatized, but I didn't realise the full spectrum of it until I was studying theatre and film at the University of Notre Dame. I had turned to alcohol for support. I was severely depressed, and then I had a panic attack in this tiny drama in-class assessment. It wasn't even on a stage. It was just in front of a class. And I'm someone who has
did really well at drama.
Really good at drama, and I have never had stage fright in my life. I was the kind of kid that was like,
feeling.
let me at him, let me on stage. This is my time. I'm so excited. And everyone else is like, I'm so nervous. And I was like, no, let's go. Let's got this. We got this. And then I had a panic attack, and that was the most terrifying experience. And I couldn't perform for a while. So I took
ended up at the hospital.
Oh, yeah, at the hospital.
Mum and Dad have to get called in by the psych people.
When your university
RPA.
sends you to a hospital, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Right. So is that where you had the grippy sock?
No. Grippy sock vacation comes later.
Later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I stopped studying. I worked full time for a bit, but then it was very isolating. Keep in mind, I'm still not better. I'm still very depressed.
I haven't hooked in with you yet, have I?
No,
Not
no.
yet.
So I'm still very depressed.
You had a good experience and then a bad experience. So you got a good job and then they fired you.
Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah.
And then we found out it was the workplace.
And then you got a good job that you loved. And then COVID hit
happened.
And they fired her.
That's right.
They let me go because, of course, you don't need a receptionist. Well, they don't need a receptionist if there's no office, which was fair. But then I was isolated. I had no one. Of course, I wasn't seeing a lot of friends because I was living a completely different lifestyle.
Yes.
They were all studying and partying and all that stuff. And I'd actually sort of put a thing on drinking, obviously, afterwards. And then I'm working full time. They'd be like, let's go out drinking. And I was like, I got work.
And then you went, COVID started coming good between that first.
So I tried to go back to uni.
And back to work. So you worked for a hairdressing place.
That was really
and that was
bad mental health.
That was the end because the woman there was.
So she was crazy, and then I was studying, but of course it was still post-lockdown downtime, so it's kind of post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, everyone's
So
struggling.
despite being at a really big university, there was no culture, there was no
Yes.
friendships, there was no cohort. So it was
Yes.
so lonely.
Dry.
And
And
of
your work
course,
boss telling you you're crap.
yeah, but yeah, she was just crazy. And then I ended up in the Grippy Sock Vacation.
So to explain that,
So it's just lack of
Grippy Sock Vacation,
Can I just-
she ended up
in the psych unit, Hornsby,
psych
right?
unit.
But can I ask you about that, Rach? Is it just like a total sense of loss of hope?
Well, I was lost.
Yeah.
I was alone. I was not getting like that fulfillment because, of course, music was such a big part of my identity, and
Yeah.
I'd given it up.
Yep.
I couldn't face it. I couldn't do anything because I was scared. I was told I wasn't good enough. I was told that this wasn't for me. In fact, back in high school, they'd even told me, maybe it's time to take a step back. And obviously I'd taken that to heart. I was like, maybe that's what I need to do because I'm never going to make it.
So she
so the-
gave up on your dreams,
I did.
and then you took these jobs.
And I was miserable.
Yeah.
And then I ended up in the psych ward
Why did you end up in the psych ward?
because I was depressed. Well, I asked. Mum asked me how I was doing, and I said, not good. And that was
And
that.
not good being
Very, very bad.
like I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah. So for me, I was a little bit of a confusion for most people because despite being one of the most depressed people that my psychologist said, I was never a full risk. And that is because I'm a very self-sacrificing person. So despite being super, super high risk, I was also one of the lowest risks because I was worried that I would upset my loved ones and I wouldn't do
wow.
that. But they were like, this was at such a point where I just wanted to disappear.
Yep.
I was miserable. I was lost. So I did a
The thing that
stint.
gave you joy had been taken from you.
Yep.
And
How
then work
Was miserable.
was miserable
I was getting no
and
fulfillment.
COVID was miserable.
And Rach, what about your sexuality? How did that play in at this point? Had that even started to hit your radar? Is this a conversation you were having with yourself? Is it an exploratory time in your world?
So lockdown was definitely an exploratory time. I think I was always sort of aware of it. It's one of those things, like I was way too obsessed with Bring It On as a kid.
Right.
Loved Missy.
Okay.
Absolutely loved that. Sam and, what was it? No, it was Victorious, Beck and Jade. Loved both of them. There's a movie about gymnastics called Stick It. Way too obsessed with that. And it's one of those things, it's like, oh, was still attracted to men. Was very aware of that. A big crush on Milo from Atlantis, the Disney movie.
Oh.
10 out of 10. But also Keita, the girl, the love interest.
Oh.
She's also really attractive. And that's like sort of the things that you think of. The hardest part was actually more learning about asexuality, which
Right.
came in the lockdown times,
Okay.
again, with the autism, which I think my autism probably ties into my asexuality.
Okay.
It's really hard to diagnose or like work out if you're asexual because it's a lack of something. Working out that I was attracted to women, you're like, oh, this and this is something that you also have. But I always joke that, sexual experiences and stuff, I treated like a unit, like an assignment,
Yep.
which, as I've said in my talking about high school, I just put off. I was like, oh, I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah, wow.
And
so
then
for
I was
those who don't know
Wow.
what A stands for, they probably get L for lesbian,
B for
B
bisexual,
for bisexual, LG, gay,
G, gay,
T, trans,
Q plus is the other things. So
the queers, and then the A is asexual.
Asexual.
Intersexual is where you've got both.
Yeah.
That's the I. So
Ace-
you literally got both.
Yeah.
Both genetics. Literally, you're literally a man and a girl, but neither.
neither are.
So you're intersex, and so what's asexual for people?
Asexual is a lack of sexual desire and or attraction
To anybody.
to anybody. And it's a spectrum. Obviously, there's different things. And it's I always say that I'm never fully against it. I'm not saying I'd never try it, but I've just never felt the desire. And that's something that I worked out. And I think, again, it could be the autism because I think differently to other people. I was like, oh,
So would you identify as bi?
I go queer.
Queer, so attractive. You're romantically attracted to people or you get their physical attraction, they're hot, but that doesn't stir anything in you in terms of I want to get down and dirty with anyone.
Yeah, I don't have that at
And
all.
sucking face, no.
The interesting thing,
blood touchy. It seems unhygienic.
so interesting though, because I've known you for a while and many years, and I've watched both men and women be attracted to you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember?
I'm so unaware.
Well, no, you're not.
No,
Because
we
now
know
you're a rock chick.
You're a rock
get
chick
hit
and you're
on.
getting the girls that are, and the boys, and they're all, and you're hilarious when you talk about it because you just think it's really funny.
Oh, I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, you think it's totally hilarious because they don't have no idea.
No idea.
Yeah.
It's a performance.
It's so interesting because yet if we look at you on stage, you just look like the sexiest rock chick ever, honestly. And either men or women would be attracted to you, 100%.
What a waste of genetics, right?
Yeah, so
queer
wrong
people,
career
anybody.
because like
People would be attracted
sex,
to you.
no.
No, drugs.
No.
Only the ones by
Yeah, I
prescription.
get my own.
Thank you. Speed.
And
Medical
just the rock and
prescribed.
roll. So it's
Yes, I'm just a rock and roll
I actually
chick.
have a really funny story about that because I'm friends with very similar people who are, punk metal scene. We did this really funny gig at Hamilton Hotel in Newcastle.
Yep.
Like a Limp Bizkit tribute band. Like it's all like metal people, and we're backstage and someone goes, "Who wants to shotgun a beer?" And we all look at each other and go, "I'm really into my tea right now." And then the next question was, "Who actually has shotgun a beer?" And everyone was like, "No."
Me.
all a bit neurospicy.
It's all a little bit wholesome, really,
Yeah.
Oh,
isn't
it's
it?
so funny because we're all these loud, extroverted,
Yes.
crazy people on
Rock
stage.
people, yeah.
And then backstage we're sipping
Tea with honey.
and discussing how much we'd love to take a nap right now. Yeah.
And you said to me
So-
earlier, I just love
yeah.
a tea and a biscuit. I'm
Oh, I
going,
keep biscuit.
So wrap up, you've bounced back. You're back into music. Part of that was obviously a fair bit of psychologizing.
Many
And
years.
then I think part of it, Ness here,
Yes, it's your fault.
twisted your arm gently to
She offered
Coming
me what
back.
I couldn't
Yeah.
refuse.
Yeah.
Money.
mullah, come and work for me, and you rediscovered music.
And also mum.
And then mum, who said, now you're back into music, why don't you do AIM?
Yeah, she was like, AIM's having an open day. Get off your ass. We're going to go. And so I was like, yeah, sure. We went. I did the open day. They were like, you should submit an application. I sent in an application. Within a week, I was enrolled and starting.
yeah, you'd found your tribe. I
So,
remember
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That was really exciting.
So that's
There's
the social, emotional work thing. Let's go the spiritual. You've grown up in the church with a weirdo for a father who does this strange job of working in a church, except he doesn't. He worked in a school.
Yes.
But you work for a church. Are you like super religious?
I'm not, I would say. I'm a terrible Christian. So I guess
you would name yourself as having a faith?
I would, in a sense. People ask me that all the time, saying that I work for a church. For me, it's a really hard point of discussion because I grew up religious. I would absolutely say I was Christian as a kid. I got confirmed, but I think I got confirmed because everyone else was doing it, All the other cool kids were doing it, so I just wanted to do it. Well, I was baptized when I was a baby.
Little baby.
But then when you go through what I've been through, it's really hard to have faith because everyone's always like, it's God's plan. But then God's really mean because what did I do? I wouldn't say I'm the
Interesting.
perfect person, but I'd like to think I'm a pretty good person. And I've been through some really crappy times. Whilst looking back on it, I believe it made me who I am. And I have a greater capacity to love and understand and explain and relate to people than most, I would say. But it's still really hard to grapple with faith. So for me, the way that I view faith and the Bible and things like that, I believe there's so much to learn about morality and how you should treat people and live as a person. Love others, treat people kindly, look after people, support people. That is what you can learn from the Bible. I struggle a little bit with the miracle thing.
Okay.
That's just in my autistic, I would say, understanding of the world.
So, Rach, can I dive into that?
Yeah.
Because you have to sit and...
Maybe next episode, Ness.
Oh, next
Oh, we're running out
episode.
of time. We'll discuss autism and faith.
Okay. We'll do that next episode. Okay. Thanks, John, shutting me up. Look at me go. Okay.
All right. Well, there
Wow.
you go. We're going to have another episode with Rachel. We're going to talk about autism and faith and God in the crap spaces of life. So thank you, Rachel, for part one, getting to know Rachel.
And if you want to see Rachel, you can actually look out for them on Instagram. Their handle is
What's the
Social
band?
Strangers.
Social Strangers, all of your streaming platforms, Instagram.
They've got a new album coming out and they gig regularly through the week.
Yeah.
And on
if you're in
weekends.
Sydney.
Yeah. And Newcastle.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you
Wollongong.
trip into Japan in
I'll
April.
also plug, I'm a part of a group that's doing Disney Goes Punk. So check out Catastrophe Gigs. They're doing 5 shows. Sydney, Wollongong, Newcastle, things like that. Hilarious. Disney music, but punk rock.
So
Excellent.
great.
Well, thank you for listening. Again, people, if anything's triggered something in you, make sure you talk to somebody. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, Ness.
Thanks, John. Thank you
Thank
for
you
listening.
for listening and watching. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Filthy Hope today. If you're not already a subscriber, could you maybe subscribe? It's going to really help other listeners find us.